What if there was a very simple and effective way to call a lot of money into your life, or maybe a new relationship, or to make your project successful? Well, there is such a technique, and I'm gonna show you how you can do it. I made over 13,000 Swiss francs, which is a bit more than that in US dollars, within 6 weeks by applying this technique. And I'm gonna show you how you can do the same by applying a very simple technique a couple of minutes every day. This video is going to be structured in 3 parts. First, I'm going to tell you the story about what happened when I applied this technique in my life and how I made these 13,000 Swiss francs. And then I'm going to go into the description of how the technique works and what are the steps that you need to follow. And in the third part, we are going to be practicing the technique and have like a guided practice for you to apply that technique so you can use it in your life and attract what you want to attract into your life with ease. And also make sure you stay until the end of the video, where I will give you a bonus that can make this technique even more effective. And hey, if this is the first time that we meet, I'm Jonas Erb, and on this channel we talk about authenticity and personal growth. We provide tools and ideas that help you gain clarity, freedom and fulfillment in your life. If you haven't yet, consider subscribing. So I developed this technique inspired by Lester Levinson and releasing, and also by embodiment, which I learned from other teachers, and I kind of combined it together and I started to see a lot of success by using this combination. So this year I was traveling in Latin America for 4 months, and then I came back to Switzerland and I didn't really have a lot of stable income, and I had to pay my rent, and I was really financially in a difficult situation. And I did apply this technique, and what happened was within 6 weeks I suddenly had a lot of new coaching clients and opportunities come into my life. First, I didn't have many new clients for some time because I was traveling and different kind of things. And then once I did apply that technique, I suddenly had 4 new clients come into my life. And I didn't really change much in what I was doing other than just applying this technique. And then I randomly met someone at like an eye contact experiment, and it was like a perfect match. So I had a new client. Then I was invited to co-facilitate at a workshop of a friend of mine, and I got 2 new clients there. And then I was recommended by a friend, and I got another client through that. And I was also offered some work by my father, which has never really offered me work before. And suddenly I was able to make some more money there, and it all added up to making more than 13K in these 6 weeks. Well, I wasn't receiving much money before that. And the only thing I really changed was really applying this technique. So now let's go into how you can apply that technique to change your life and attract what you want to have in your life. So this technique can really be divided into 4 steps. The first one is you need to make a clear decision. What is it that I want? So in my case, for example, I wanted to receive new coaching clients. So I said, I decide to receive new coaching clients now. And the important thing about that is that it really creates that clarity inside of my system. As I'm going about my life, it's like I'm now open to new coaching clients. I'm ready. I call new coaching clients into my life. I decide now to open myself up to new coaching clients. And maybe in your case, it could be I decide now to open myself up to a new relationship or to my perfect partner. Or I decide to open myself up now to make this project successful. Whatever your thing is that you want to call into your life, make a decision like I open myself up now. I decide to receive this now. I decide to be open to receive this now. And this is important because you make a decision, so you're changing your system like I decide to open myself up to the reality that I want to create. This is the first step, and really make sure that you make this first step. The second step is to get clear on what you want, like to get more into detail. For example, in my case, I started I think with 1 or 2 clients and say I receive 2 new coaching clients that are a perfect match to my coaching. I'm a perfect match for them. They're a perfect match for me. And I feel a lot of joy coaching them and supporting them. So make a statement that is something along the lines of either I receive now, or is I allow myself to have, or I have. Use one of these statements. See what fits best for you, see what matches you best and what feels the best, then do that. I allow myself to, or I have, or I receive now. And then formulate that goal or whatever you want to call into your life and have that clear. And also make sure there's a joy around it, like with joy or with ease, add something like that into your statement. And then the third thing I do is I start to ground myself. And grounding is a lot about feeling the connection into the earth, feeling my ability to connect myself to the earth and hold space for myself. Also being able to calling something that I'm creating in the mental space, the goal that I create, to call this into the physical reality. Because the earth is kind of our connection to the physical, and the more I'm able to ground myself and to feel connected and grounded in myself, the more easily I can bring this from this mental space, from the visualization or from the creation in the energetic realm into the physical realm. I will go more into detail how you can do that in the later part where we're going to practice this. It's got a lot to do with feeling the feet, feeling the legs, and just feeling that body and that connection to the earth. That's an important step because it's going to open that channel to like bring it into the physical reality. It's not just like a mental image or some idea, but it gets closer to the physical. So make sure you practice that. And then the last step is to kind of allow to state whatever your statement is. For example, I receive now 2 new coaching clients that are a perfect match to my coaching. I'm a perfect match for them, and it's so much fun and I feel so much joy supporting them and coaching them. And then when I'm saying that, I'm going to be feeling into how it feels in my body, and I'm going to be breathing into any resistance that's coming up, allowing myself to feel whatever is happening inside of my body, inside of my system as I'm saying this. And I'm going to find ways, which I will explain more in detail later, on how to release that resistance and work with that. And then the last step, a really, really important step, is to bring joy. Like allow myself to get to a point where I feel complete joy in all of my body and in all of my being, to feel completely full of joy of receiving that, and also calling that from this energetic realm into the physical realm and feeling that, like getting more into this physical space. So those are the 4 steps, and now we're going to go more into detail on how to actually practice that and how to really ground yourself in that new reality. And if you practice that on a daily basis, it's not going to take a lot of time and you're going to have it in your life. So make sure you stay for this practice now and see what is it that you want to call into your life. Now the first step is you're going to make a decision. I decide now to receive financial abundance. Or I decide now to open myself up to a lot of money. Or I decide now to open myself up to the perfect partner. Whatever that is, make that decision. And the decision is just a general decision. It's like, I decide now to open myself up to this that I'm calling into my life. That's the decision part. Make sure you do that and take some time, really just sit or stand or whatever, and really make that decision. Make it feel like it's tangible. It's like, I feel I decided that. It's a difference between like, I would like to have that, but like, I'm deciding to open myself up to receiving that now. That's the first step. Do that for yourself. Take some time and do that. Then, now we're gonna go into the grounding part. So follow along with me as I'm guiding you into learning to ground yourself more, to feel your body, to feel the earth, and to feel the physicality in your system, which is going to help you then to bring your idea or your goal into the physical. So we're going to go and feel our legs, and especially our feet. So go ahead and do that with me, like stand in front of this video, just listen to me, and just start to feel your feet. You can also put your weight a little bit to the front, to the back. You don't see my feet now, but I'm like kind of pushing them a little bit into the ground, not like forcefully, but just to like feel that response, like how the, feeling that how the earth is like pushing back. And so I'm kind of like exploring that connection, that as I'm pushing down and the earth is pushing up. Maybe there's also some relaxation that I start to feel in my body, because I start to feel my feet more. And there's a certain relaxation as I allow the earth to receive me, and as I allow me to receive the earth. And especially that connection of me pushing down onto the earth pushing back, me just feeling that. Like the earth is literally holding me. It's like I'm standing on the earth, and the earth is pushing back, making me able to stay on her. And then exploring that, putting the weight on the back of the foot, like on the heels, middle part of the foot, front part of the foot. And also there's some people that like do something like that, like subconsciously, like pulling away from the earth. Like if you're doing that, try to see if you can flatten your feet a little bit and just relax more into the earth. And there's other people that do that, like I used to do that a lot, like bringing up my toes. And that's also disconnecting from the earth. Because you can pull in energy from the earth by putting the toes into the earth, just feeling the earth with the toes. Don't try to forcefully do it, but try to just feel that connection with all of your foot. But don't clench up like that. Just relax, but try to really put some weight into your feet. And then also start to feel your legs, like going down into your legs a little bit, almost like you're squatting, and you're just feeling that earth beneath you. Also play around with doing it just with one leg, because that can sometimes be easier to just feel one leg, hold the other one a little to the front, and the left one you're just pushing your weight onto it and you're feeling it. And you kind of feel that body weight that's pushing into the earth, and you feel like you're kind of feeling that connection and that solidness of the earth, and you connecting to it, and feeling that strength of your body holding yourself, standing strong on the earth, and feeling that leg that's standing on the earth, through your foot into the ground. And feel that physicality of your leg, that you're standing and there's all the weight that's pushing on the leg. And I'm doing it a little quickly now, but you can take your time afterwards to just go more into the depth of these feelings and explore that, and the physicality and the feeling of like grounding, like the presence, the weight that's dropping down. And it's almost as the earth can like bring back up energy, like there's some kind of exchange going on. As I bring the energy down, it's not like I'm losing it, it's just like I'm relaxing into it, and the earth can kind of like nourish me, and there's an exchange going on. I can do the same with the other leg. And just do that, explore that connection. And then you can slowly start to explore also your back. Like feel both of your legs on the ground and feel that physicality, that pressure, and also that connection to the earth and to the physical. And feel how you can hold space, kind of how you can hold yourself. Like starting to feel the spine slowly from the lowest part of your spine, from the coccyx up, all the spine, just feeling from the lower belly, feeling that lower belly, the coccyx area, sacrum area, and then lower back area, mid back area, feeling the upper back area and the spine, onto the neck, just feeling that you're standing strong on this earth. And you feel that you can hold yourself. You can hold your spine, like your spine is holding your body. And the legs are holding your hips, which are holding the spine and the body. So all of that is connected. And you're standing strong on this earth. You feel that physicality. You feel that strength of you being able to hold yourself strong on this earth. And sometimes it can also help to extend your arms. It's almost as if you, with your back and the spine and the legs, you can kind of create a space for yourself, for your emotions, for your thoughts. It's almost like you can hold yourself. And I'll also link another video where I talk about grounding. So you can go more into detail if you want to go more into detail about grounding. Just make sure you do some kind of grounding before you start to go into the next part of the technique. So just take a couple of minutes and do that and feel the physicality and the connection to the ground and your ability to hold yourself. And from there, we're going to go into the next part. So what is it that you want to call into your life? Like, write that down, make sure you have it clear in your mind. And so in my case, it was like something like, I receive now 2 new coaching clients that are a perfect match for my coaching. I feel a lot of joy coaching them, and they're pay in full, and whatever detail you want to add to this, I coach them online or in person or whatever my decision is. And then I allow myself, or I receive that now, and allow myself to feel just how does my body react as I'm saying it. Like, I'm saying this. I receive now 2 new coaching clients with ease, and you just say whatever you say, like the whole sentence, say it out loud, all the details, and then see what happens. So I feel like part of me, there's a joy coming up, and there's a little resistance here too. There's a little clenching. And so then what I do is I allow myself to feel that and just breathe into that clenching. While I still feel grounded, while I still feel my legs and the feet and the earth, I'm breathing into the clenching and that slight resistance. Just breathing into it and allowing myself to relax. And I'm just feeling a little more. I feel how it's slowly receding, like the resistance is getting a little less. And just see if you can just be present with that resistance and feel that. And just allow yourself to feel that resistance. And there could be also different emotions coming up. Maybe you feel sadness, maybe you feel anger, maybe you feel anything else that feels kind of like heavy or dense. You just allow that to come up and to feel that. And to give it this space, like with your grounding, you can hold space for those emotions. So for example, for me, there's a little bit of anger coming up and a little bit of sadness. So I just allow myself to breathe into that. I'm not going to try to push it away, I'm just going to be present with it. Just allow myself to be sad for a moment. I'm trying to not make it wrong, I'm just being present with it. So whatever you're feeling, hold space for it. Just be present with it. So I'm feeling a little bit lighter now. Still a little bit of sadness. So I'll just, hold a little more space for that. And also be aware that sometimes you might be feeling some kind of resistance, and then the goal can be either just to feel a resistance and just be with it and be present. And sometimes if it doesn't transform at some point, if you really hold space for it, then it could also be a sign that you need to change your goal. You need to change what you're calling into your life. Because maybe you don't really want that. Maybe your ego wants it, or maybe some part of you wants it, but some other doesn't. And then you need to have a talk with yourself and see what is it that you really want. And sometimes, most of the times actually, it's just some kind of resistance coming up, and it's what you need to be looking at before it can actually come into the physical reality. But sometimes if you keep staying there and you can't even if you're really present with it, you're really welcoming it, you're really feeling it, you're really breathing into it, and it still stays and stays, then it's probably because you need to change something about it. But most of the time it's also just another resistance coming up, and layers and layers. And then we do that for some time. We let everything come up, all the emotions, anything. Maybe there's some thoughts as well, and they kind of make you do something with you. Then you just hold space for that. You're grounding yourself, you hold space for these thoughts. Allowing yourself to breathe and just let the thoughts run through, as if there's a train rushing through, and you just allow it to rush through. And you're just being present. And then the next thing, and that's a really important thing, is to say, okay, could I allow myself to feel joy around that goal? And could I allow myself to feel more joy? And then oftentimes when I try to do that, then suddenly another layer of emotion is coming up. I feel sadness coming up. I feel joy, and I also feel sadness, and I feel resistance. And that's the important thing, is okay, I can allow myself to feel the joy, and maybe then I'm crying suddenly. Because there's all these emotions coming up as I allow myself to feel the joy of that goal go through all of my body. Allow myself, could I feel joy around that goal? And the funny thing is, now I feel more emotions, I feel more sadness coming up, and that's because I'm really allowing the joy to take over. If I was allowing the joy to fully take over all of my body and all of my being around the goal, then I'm pretty much ready to just fully get into the physical. And whenever I call that joy in, it brings up everything that's not aligned with the joy yet. And so it brings all of that up. So now I feel more resistance, for example. And then I allow the resistance to come up. And feel that resistance, and I'm present with it. And then I say, can I allow myself to feel more joy around the goal coming up? And allow myself to feel the joy even with the resistance. And allow it to expand into the legs. Allow myself to expand the joy even into the ground. And into the back, and into the front of the body, into the hips, to the legs. And then up into the upper body, to the shoulders. Start feeling more joy, and it's going into my arms, upper arms. And then elbows, lower arms, until into my hand and into the tips of my fingers. And then up the neck, feel the joy in my whole head as well. You just see how the joy expands, and sometimes it also helps to kind of stretch out my arms, calling in that joy, and calling what I'm calling in, just calling that in. But really focusing on the joy, like feeling that joy and allowing that to come, to like feel that joy and allow myself to feel a whole body full of joy around that goal. And really allowing it to expand even more and even more. And really there's a lot of, oftentimes with me there's emotions coming up around that, or maybe other thoughts, and I just allow the joy to kind of like melt down all the thoughts. And sometimes it doesn't work, like it's not gonna melt down, yet I'm just being present with whatever is there. And I really allow that joy to like go into the earth and go through all of my being. And then I'm like calling it into the physical, like I'm feeling how the goal, what I'm calling into my life, how it's kind of coming down. I can stretch out my arms and just feel how that comes into the physical, like with this joy, how like feeling, like receiving those coaching clients, just feeling like how I'm like coaching them, and how that is, how I see it, how it feels, how it smells, how it, how I feel like I'm being in the coaching room, or I'm wherever I am online coaching them, and or whatever your goal is, like being with this person that you want to manifest into your life, or relationship, or how that project is successful, and you feel that joy and you feel the physicality of it, like you feel your body being in the room that you want to hold a conference for that project, or where you want to hold a speech, or when you want to be with this person that you want to have in your life, or whatever your thing is, and feel that, like feel the joy and feel that like you're really calling it into the physical, into the body, you're calling it into the earth, like into the physical, from this energetic idea space. You bring it, you feel like you bring it in, and oftentimes there you feel more resistance, you feel more emotions coming up and things coming up, and so then you can hold space for them, for these emotions. Just breathe into them and see whenever you feel a blockage to the joy and to the calling in of that into the physical reality. Whenever there's a blockage, wherever you feel it, maybe you feel it in your hands, in your chest, wherever you feel that, allow yourself to hold space for that and feel that and breathe into that. So for example, there's a slight resistance now here and here. So I'm calling in more joy and I'm feeling the resistance. And it's kind of like melting in the joy, and then there's some anger coming up, and I'm breathing into the anger, feeling that, and calling in more joy, allowing it to come into the physical, the goal, seeing those coaching clients come into my life. And there's more anger coming up now suddenly, and don't judge those emotions, whatever's coming up, just notice and be present, call it in more. Call in more of the joy, more of the goal into the physical. And really do that process for yourself. Take some minutes every day and do that. I suggest you really, especially when you're starting out, do like at least half an hour a day of that, the whole process. And you had the decision, you only have to do it once, and if it's not clear enough, you can do it again, just like make it a decision clear, and then do the process with the grounding, with all of that, calling this all into your life, and like all the process of like releasing, like feeling those emotions, allowing them to come up, and then calling in the joy, and feeling that, you bring it into the physical reality, like you really bring it into the physical, you feel it, like you almost feel it in your body, you feel it with your hands, you smell it, you taste it, you see it, like in the room you're in, like you're not seeing it somewhere outside in the idea space, you're really seeing it like here and now, and in that physical reality. And if you do that in a very short amount of time, you're gonna have that in your life. And I really invite you to write down what your goal is and what happens when you apply this. That's the technique. And now we're going to get to the bonus. If you want to get more clear on that vision, and oftentimes when we're not able to really call it into our lives, we're not clear enough around our vision, or we're maybe not clear enough around some things that are coming up as obstacles. So I offer a free 15-minute vision and challenges call where I can help you get more clear on what really is your vision and how do you want to formulate it, and like what exactly is your vision and what is the challenges, what are the challenges that you're facing, and just getting a very clear picture on that. So the more clarity you have, the more easy it is then to achieve that goal. And if I feel I can support you to achieve the goal, I will also let you know that and how to do that. And otherwise, you can also just take all of that vision and that clarity, you can take that, practice this technique that I just showed you right now, and really bring it into the physical with that clarity. So if you're interested in that, make sure to sign up in the link below, in the description below, and really let me know how this technique works for you. I'm really curious to hear more in the comments. And also, if you like the video, please hit the like button. And I would really appreciate you supporting my channel by subscribing to my channel. And also make sure to turn on notifications if you want to be notified when new videos are going to come out by pressing on the notifications bell. Super happy to hear more about how it works for you. And also there's a lot of other videos on this channel around similar topics. I will link some more of those videos here for you to watch. And also make sure to just check out the YouTube channel. There's a lot of other videos that you might find interesting around similar topics. And thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Goodbye, everyone.